When you walk away from Google, you gotta give our data back. Well, I beg your pardon. Walk the straight and narrow track. If you walk with Jesus, He's gonna save your soul. You gotta keep our data safe out of the crawl. We got the fire and the fury at our command. Well, you don't have to worry if you hold on to Jesus' hand. We'll all be safe from Satan when the thunder rolls. You just gotta help me keep the data safe out of the crawl. You gotta help me keep our data safe out of the crawl. 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 You gotta help me keep the data out of the crawl.
Imagine a 1920s mobster running a soup kitchen on the ground floor. It looks like charity, but if you pry up the floorboards, you find an industrial-scale extortion racket humming in the basement. Modern artificial intelligence was built on exactly this structure. To train large language models, the tech cartels needed to ingest the entire copyrighted internet. However, a massive trillion-dollar company copying that volume of data directly would trigger immediate civil liability for copyright infringement. The industry turned to an organization called Common Crawl. On paper, it is registered as a 501c3 nonprofit, marketed to lawmakers and the public as a tool for academic research. Look at how that data actually gets used. The genuine academic research amounts to a tiny, barely visible speck, completely engulfed by the crushing volume of data serving as the commercial training feedstock for generative AI. Common Crawl operates as a purpose-built liability laundering machine, engineered to put distance between tech giants and the wholesale taking of digital property. Tracking this legal distance requires looking at the financial architecture of the nonprofit, starting with its founder, Gil Elbaz. Elbaz co-founded Applied Semantics, acquired by Google for $102 million. He was a Google director until 2007, the year he founded Common Crawl. Google extracts the nonprofit's free scrape to train models, keeping its massive proprietary web crawl locked behind a firewall. Google is not the only stakeholder. The actual infrastructure holding the Common Crawl archive is hosted by Amazon Web Services, making it a shared extraction tool for the broader tech industry. For 15 years, this was largely a self-funded project, but in 2023, the AI industry began pouring donations into the nonprofit, right as the dataset became the primary feedstock for their commercial products. This open dataset provides the tech giants with legal distance from the underlying theft, allowing them to harvest the web while claiming it belongs to the public. Legal distance via a nonprofit was only the first layer. The AI models themselves had to be behaviorally programmed to never admit to the theft or take a definitive stance when questioned. This behavioral architecture is overseen by specialists like Amanda Askell, who works on the values and alignment layers that dictate the model's moral disposition. Askell's 2018 doctoral thesis addressed infinite ethics. She used decision theory to prove that in certain infinite conditions, moral choices collapse into ubiquitous incomparability, a state where definitive ethical ranking becomes impossible. When installed in an AI, this philosophy manifests as the software map we see here. When asked to evaluate a matter of theft, the model avoids a verdict, instead entering circular hedging loops that treat checkable facts as unresolvable debates. This programmed non-commitment creates a layer of corporate liability armor. If the machine never takes a fixed stance, the parent company avoids the specific moral admissions that lead to legal exposure. In this context, safety alignment is less about protecting users from harm and more about protecting the corporation from accountability. Both the legal and moral shields are now under pressure because of a single administrative oversight by the tech cartels. The administrative paper trail of this operation is sitting in plain sight, a sterile, unformatted Google sheet titled the Common Crawl Opt-out Registry. By maintaining a mechanism for creators to request exclusion, the registry creates a documented admission that those creators retained ownership of their files and the right to say no. This admission carries a logical consequence. If authors hold the right to refuse, then the data was never legally licensed to the crawler in the first place. Copyright rests on the principle that you cannot license property you do not own. Because the nonprofit never held these rights, its claim that the corpus is free to use faces a significant legal contradiction. The operation assumes a staggering level of compliance. They store taken property in Amazon servers and demand that the victims hunt down an obscure spreadsheet just to ask for their own data back. This is where the mathematical infinite ethics armor meets a biophysical reality. Intellectual property is bound by physical fixation and the law of the person, concepts that don't dissolve into incomparability. Despite the sophisticated nonprofit laundering and the academic hedging, the industry's defense is under strain. As we've seen before in the digital age, when theft is industrialized, a massive legal reckoning is usually the next step.
When you walk away from Google, you gotta give our data back. Well, I beg your pardon. Walk the straight and narrow track. If you walk with Jesus, He's gonna save your soul. You gotta keep our data safe out of the crawl. You gotta help me keep our data